Perfect. We're live.
It says we're live. We're here. So we're good. I think now we just wait for people to. Oh, I guess I could check with the other channel too and see um, what it looks like.
Yeah, let me pull up on my phone see if it's going live.
Oh yeah, it says live. 8 people. Look at that. Oh, yep, it is
Oh, there we
working.
go.
All right, perfect. Hello, internet. Yeah, I feel like I'm at work. On a call. So one of our lovely people watching us, just sound off in the chat if you would. Let us know you can
Yeah,
hear
let
us,
us
you can
know if
see us
audio is
okay.
working.
Oh, there we go. We were just
Who's
talking
here?
about this guy
Red
and Red
Sox.
Sox Nation. I always want to know who the Red Sox guy is. He tells me I know him, but I don't know if I don't know who it is. I see
Capital
Luke.
One will be winning.
Oh, I mean Luke joined. We could just talk what Rolex did this morning in their new watch releases.
Looks like audio's working well according to Red Sox.
That's what that little symbol thing means. See, I'm glad we have a
Hopefully,
young.
yeah.
I'm glad we have a young man here because I wouldn't have. I don't know. I don't know what
What's
that
up, John?
means. Yeah, so we'll treat it like a typical corporate call. We'll give it like a few minutes. We'll say we'll get kicked off with a quick recap for those who just maybe just joining us for the first time, like 7:05 Eastern time. But yeah, we've got everything set up as our first live, so we got it sorted out. Shout out to our friend Stan who got us helped out with
Yeah.
us with a little crash course. Yeah, but Luke, I see her. So he tried them and they came. They made a solid gold deep sea dweller though. It's like they did. That's the one they did that. They did all gold watches except for the new GMT, which is the one I want. But now you could get a solid gold deep sea, and I feel like you could pull it off.
I don't know anything about watches, so I'll take
Now
your word for
today's
it.
like the watches and wonders where they released like the new watches and everything. No way, no gold. No, that's fair. I mean,
Red Sox said that emoji was the Mariners home run celebration, which is true. I'm a Mariners fan, so I guess
oh, I
we'd
was
be
like,
head to head on that one.
oh, that's fair. Green card for life. We're just coming in, just firing off Amex things. Green card for life. I don't mean the green card. I don't even think it qualified, did it? I don't think it.
Yeah,
We'll
I don't
recap
think
it.
it was
We'll
in.
recap. I don't think it did. I appreciate you repping your team no matter what, though.
Julio.
Redstone Visa signature would have won. I mean, I did forget it, but look, man, we keep a tradition where I tend to forget certain cards. All right, it happens, and I'm not going to promise to be better because it'll happen next year, and I don't what to tell you. Yeah, the saver card. Yeah, it's on
What up,
a
John?
run. We're gonna talk about it. Redstone is legit. It is. Have they changed the rules on how hard it is to get in though? Because there was a run where like they took anybody, and then they kind of like locked it down a little bit, which was not fun.
How many people we got on this?
As someone who gets denied a lot. You
What's up,
ask me
Eric?
how to tell. I don't know how to tell these things. I got to refresh this. I have a lot of screens going, which is another reason I think I could claim I could get another monitor. I want 3. I don't need 3, but I just kind of want 3. From Chicago, shout out. How did
Like,
Capital One get here, champ? We're gonna recap it. I'm just giving everyone like a little bit to join here, and then we'll kick it off in a minute actually with a quick recap of each one of the regions. I was surprised. 32 in the live now. All right,
32, yep.
this guy coming in clutch with the numbers. I just never thought I was one of those popular enough people like Uncle Luke that people would show up to watch me on TV. But I do tell people I'm on TV, so I think this counts officially now. It's being on TV. Ohio, shout out. We like Ohio. I'm not one of those Michigan people who can't stand Ohio. Like, it's fine. It has Cedar. You have Cedar Point and Kings Island still, right? Plus, you got like the best view of the solar eclipse. So I think Ohio is winning right now.
RJ is the most
All right.
popular man out there.
All right. We've given the obligatory 5 minutes. Everyone who's someone is clearly here. Everyone else is doing something worse than this activity. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us. We have my co-host, the travel region, Mr. Matt Welter. I have given myself the name of commissioner, and I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to run with it. So again, we'll do the quick recap here, but we all know why we're here, so we're not going to belabor the point, because if I press this button, that was our thumbnail. We've got 2 cards remaining. We can only have one. Can only be one. So it'll either be the defending champion Venture X retaining its crown for the travel side, or a saver card, the little brother of the Venture X, representing cash back. So had a few folks here ask how we got here. So really quick, this is bracket so far. So Matt, do the honors. Take us through the travel side, if you will, really quick. Then I'll hit the cash back region. Then we'll get to the main event.
Yeah, for sure. So the travel region overall was pretty straight up, I think, for the most part. I think there was only one upset, which was, I wouldn't even consider like a massive upset, but it was the 6 seed Sapphire Reserve beating out the MX Platinum. But kind of just run through what the bracket looks like. We had the Venture X, which obviously we'll be talking about more in the championship, but the 1 seed Venture X, who got that automatically just because they won the tournament last year on a quest to defend, took on the MX Gold, which is the 4 seed. Then, like I said, there was the one upset, which was the Sapphire Reserve, who took down the MX Platinum. Sapphire Preferred advanced as well. And then from there, we had the conference championship matchup between the Venture X and the Sapphire Preferred, hoping to get a little bit of chase representation, but ultimately, Capital One is representing in the travel side because the Venture X went back to the championship, and you guys will all be seeing here in a second if they were able to complete their quest to defend or not. But yeah, RJ, take it away.
Rude boy, I'll get to your question because I will do this, and then we'll do some Q&A. So I'll definitely talk about mobile wallets. New again has the best comments so far. My man started a fight so he could be left alone for this. I mean, he could have invited her, but that's an option too. So the rest of your night will be interesting. I feel like he's the kind of guy who has like some kind of crazy card parlay going on this show as well. So yes, cash back side. The cash back side did not have a defending champion. We thought about making the Freedom Flex, but only one champion, no participations here. So the custom cash was our far and away 1 seed, like by far. And it was just torching people until it got to the finals and got upset pretty handily by Capital One, who is just having a moment right now. Chase came up short again. People love to troll me. They didn't even make it to the conference final, which was very painful. And we had a lot of Chase cards, but it couldn't get it done. So that hurts for the House of Diamond. But we had the Capital One upset, the City upset. Now here we are with an all Capital One final. So let's get to it then, shall we, gentlemen?
Yep.
As we said, we had the number 3 seed Capital One. I don't know how to play dramatic music in here, or I definitely would, but get excited because you guys voted. We left it open all week, and we have a dynasty forming because the Venture X takes it home. It is a defending champion, 2-time champion, and travel wins again. I don't know if I'm supposed to be excited or not, but congratulations to the Venture X. We'll jump to the stats slide in a second. But in the Capital One versus Capital One fight, there you go. The metal card, Big Brother card, comes out victorious. 2-time champion. There you go. I'm kind of surprised, but not super surprised. So let's jump ahead. I'll just show you guys how you voted here. So I took this morning, I want to say. So we had 230 responses total. You can see how it breaks down. 53.9%. So not a runaway. I mean, Capital One, it hung, Saver hung in there for sure, but it was no match for Big Brother. I see Luke's very happy. Capital One Dynasty rig Gatorade. See, Gatorade, how would I rig? If it was rigged, would I have let the Venture X win though? Like, that's the thing. Like, I would have never have let that happen. And then your final bracket. shapes up like this.
Yep, just like UConn. But
So,
I mean,
so give me your thoughts. Give me your thoughts, Mr. Welter. I'll give you some of mine. Give me some of yours. Give you some of mine. Then we'll take some. We'll go through the comments. We'll answer some questions. Field some thoughts. You can ask whatever they want. But just as your first time and a commissioner of the travel region, what are your thoughts on this? As your region takes home the crown here.
yeah, well, to be honest, kind of starting off with it, when we first came up with the idea of team travel, team cashback, two different regions, one card coming out of each, facing each other in the championship. Honestly, one of the biggest surprises that I thought is the fact that for a while it was looking like there was a chance the Saber One could actually miraculously pull this off. The Venture X and every other matchup in the travel region. So against the MX Gold, against the Sapphire Preferred, against the Altitude Reserve, I think pretty much every single one of those matchups, I want to say the Venture X won by like at least like 60+% of the vote. Some I think against the Altitude Reserve, it won by like 65%. So the fact that it was so close um, is honestly a little bit surprising. And obviously there was a lot of cashback representation that came out to vote to make this so close. But it was a great tournament. I really like how we were able to separate the regions and kind of see the head-to-head matchups across both. And I guess it'll only be remains to be seen whether the Venture X can continue on the dynasty or if someone else is going to come up and actually challenge it next year.
Yeah, I just the Saber thing just surprised me, man. Like it's not a new card. So I'm not really sure like where
Right.
the support came from all of a sudden. Like it just ended up on this huge run. Like I mean, neither is the custom cash by any means, but I don't know. Like out of all the cards people talk about, is generally seems to be the custom cash one, which is saying something because on here we don't even get links for the custom cash, and people still talk about
Mhm.
it. Which I mean, you know how we are. Like if we don't get links for stuff, like it's like this thing never existed. Um, so it's. I thought it was a lock for the finals, and I thought if the custom cash had made it, it probably would have taken the whole thing. The Saber just surprised me. I don't know
Yeah.
why. I mean, it's a good card, definitely a good card for sure, but it surprised me. Chase losing again still surprised. I don't know why I'm surprised at this point, but I think with Chase, they hide from the main categories that people want. That comes back to get them in the end.
Mhm.
At least with the Saber, you do have with the groceries and dining, entertainment too. I think so. I don't know. You'd think one of my cards would win my tournament or our tournament. Now you would think that's why it can't be rigged. Like if the Freedom Flex won, then like yeah, you should probably definitely. If the Freedom Flex was shutting dudes out like 100% of the time, then you should definitely question it's rigged. But I would not have rigged a tournament in this fashion that a heavy clunky metal card would take home the crown like every single year. But here we are. So I did want to hit some of the questions. So we can, I don't, we might bring that back up, but we did have one about mobile wallets. He said, if
Mm.
you would mobile wallets become more popular, start to play a role in it? I think the answer is probably, I feel like yes, because like mobile wallets, like that's the one thing people love about the US bank cards that like no one else seems to have. I
Mhm.
don't know why others don't incorporate it into it because at least when I get all the cards, even random cards, I just got like the AAA card a while back. Like it still pops up, hey, add it to your mobile wallet, add it to your mobile wallet. So you would think that would be you would start to see that feature a little bit more. I don't know why only US Bank has adopted that one, but no, to answer your question, I do think we'll see it in some form. I almost think like maybe some of the issuers were just more mad about having to share a smaller percentage with the mobile wallet. 'Cause like if you run something through Apple Pay, I think Apple still gets a cut. Like I don't think that the swipe fee is higher. I could be totally wrong on this. I just think they just kind of shove themselves in there and take a cut. So maybe they don't want to encourage it, but at the same time, you still get pop-ups to add your card from some issuers. Like I don't think Chase or Citi has done it. I think Bank of America has, but that would be my guess. I think we will at some point. I just wish I knew more about how the economics worked on that. All right, let's go through some of these. Keep them coming. I'm going to skim through some of them. Matt, feel free to grab some as
Yeah.
well. But so we had one. Do you think the Capital One Venture X would get devalued at some point? I forgot who asked it, but yeah, probably. I mean, I think it's going to follow. Oh, Red Sox. Do you think Venture X will get devalued? I think it's going to follow the same path, kind of the Sapphire Reserve, where for like the longest time at 450, like the Sapphire Reserve was like a layup. And then eventually, Diamond himself came out and was like, I wish I could lose more money on it. Ha 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 ha. And then he got tired of losing more money on it. And he raised the fee and kind of changed everything around. So yeah, I can see the Venture X doing something like that. I mean, those lounge build outs have got to be pretty expensive. But
Mhm.
the Discover thing might help. I think what would save them is like, how uptight do you want to be? Because I know we had another comment like this for, not a fan of Venture X. Oh, I can't take Cap One seriously because 800 scores and all I get is cards from John. I get it. And that's kind of the thing. Like, if Capital One wanted to blow it out more, like, at what point does being so uptight, hold them back and cost them? And they have to nerf it a little bit. Because Chase, having as big a base as they do, they still got tired of paying out all those Sapphire cards. So I'm gonna say yes, it probably will get nerfed at some point. It's the long answer.
Yeah, I kind of going off that too. I feel like they already kind of some of like the benefits that don't really matter to as many people are already starting to go away a little bit, like Hertz President Circle status and some of those kind of afterthought benefits. But I will say, like, even if they were to nerf it a little bit and kind of mess around with some of the like supplementary benefits, as long as they keep the travel credit and bonus miles intact and they don't raise the annual fee, which obviously is a question, then it's still a good card. Obviously, I made a video on my channel recently, kind of taking the other side of the equation and talking about some of the negatives that could exist, and some of that's kind of to John's point with the weird application rules and restrictions and who's going to get approved and who's going to get denied. But ultimately, I think the Venture X is still going to be a great card, still going to be a card probably capable of winning this tournament every year, as long as they keep the main benefits intact. And obviously, they don't make some major changes to like the annual fee.
Red Sox clutch here. Apple gets a 0.15% cut.
Mm.
David William here with the autograph wins the NIT. See, that would be an interesting thing. Well, the base autograph card is a sleeper card, and I think it gets brought down because Wells Fargo, like for someone like me, you still need to have like a level of like, hey, I might come to New Orleans, for example, right? Need to get a high multiplier, but I don't want an annual fee. Autograph solid. I don't know if I feel like I might be in the minority, but I feel like the autograph journey is a massive hit that's not getting enough love. Like, I feel like the autograph journey, if it had made it in time, I don't know if it would have won this tournament because, like, generally, like, even the Venture X in its first year didn't win. I think
Mhm.
they had to give people enough time to get used to it, use the card, get in enough hands. But the autograph journey, I think, is a really, really good card. And if it was painted blue and Chase had done this, we would have lost our minds. We've lost our collective minds, but because it's Wells Fargo and it's kind of like red, like, I don't know. No, I think I could see the journey winning for sure. Not even the NIT, like you said. I think it could win the whole thing, the journey. Next year, that might even be my early pick. 364 days out from doing this again, like the journey. I think it's that good. But you guys let me know if I'm wrong, because I don't know. I don't know if it's that popular of an opinion.
Yeah, I mean, one thing too is like, from what I know so far, is it basically is
I'm
it
not laughing at you.
basically
I'm laughing at the comment. I'm sorry.
no,
Go
I
ahead.
I I saw the comment too. Um, is it basically the because you can go for the higher bonus on the autograph journey, then you can just downgrade to the autograph if you want and still have the same access to the travel partners. So that would be the only thing is like, what is the point to except for some of those travel multipliers, like what's the point to keeping the autograph journey long term when you can just downgrade and still have the same travel partner access?
Travel partners do suck. That is, but the best ones everyone wants are already taken, like United, Delta, Hilton, Hyatt, Marriott. Like, they're already taken.
Right.
Um, I still want to know what the like. How does the Wells Fargo having the Built card in house? How does that work? Because Built has all the partners everyone wants. They just had that
Mhm.
really cool Alaska promotion coming out. Like, I don't know. They have the phone numbers. Make the phone calls. Like, it could happen, but even if someone like me is like, hey, you can use this $50 credit directly, which is amazing in the credit card space, right? Like, you don't have to go through some crazy thing. I can just use it directly. I get the majority of the insurances, and then I can just cash out the points, man. Like, whatever. I would do that. I know that would upset a lot of you who want to travel, transfer them out, and do all this calculus and everything. I did love the comment. So, Rude Boy, like, you have to have been watching this for a long time, man. I said the classic bedrooms. When I first started, he said bring back the classic bedroom background. I had like a webcam up top, and it was just me in like the bedroom, like old school style. I mean, it's still we got some. I'm working on something. We'll upgrade eventually, but that's a throwback. So I appreciate it. You can't downgrade as of today. Journey to regular. Oh, well, that makes sense, Julian. Chad's Money Minutes checking in.
Oh, what's up, Chad? Um, I was gonna say Luke mentioned too, like the Venture X is kind of what carried the Saver one up because without the Venture X, the Saver one doesn't get to the championship if it's not because of the Venture X and all the publicity that
Sure.
Capital One has gotten, and the fact that you can take the points that you're earning with the Saver one, transfer them up to the Venture X, and kind of have that flexibility. So I would definitely agree with that.
See, here's the thing though, like, on one hand, when everyone talks about this trifecta and that trifecta, we all act like we're geniuses, right? Like the car
Mhm.
companies didn't design it for us to just figure it out. But Capital One was like super quiet about it. Like I feel like for the first year, like it wasn't even like super well known, or it wasn't like confirmed. Like yes, you can move miles or whatever the heck the saver earns over to the Venture X. Like I don't know why Capital One's almost like stumbled upon being really good, but like they don't know what to do with it, and I'm not
Yeah.
really sure why. Uh, like I feel like they should play up that partnership more. And my biggest complaint about Capital One has always been like it's too easy to outgrow them as a customer. And I still think we had a question about that earlier. Like you can have an 800 score. Now you're interested in the Venture X. And like, nah, sorry. They
Yeah.
denied me for 2 cards recently, but I mean, that's probably because I had 800 inquiries. But, that's the thing. Like, and I also wonder, like, if they get approved for this Discover deal, like, would they split it off almost into, like, they wouldn't tell us, but like, would I shift one to be my more subprime deal? And would I be more comfortable approving more Venture X cards? To more regular, maybe not like me with 50 inquiries, but like more regular people. I don't
Mhm.
know. I think these are things, if I'm Capital One, I got to figure out.
It's kind of
That and
random
how many
too.
cards can you have? Because that's the other one. I didn't mean to
Yeah.
cut you off, but that's
Oh
another
no.
one.
Yeah.
How many?
I was gonna say like the application requirements are sometimes like obviously you can kind of like give yourself your best chance by trying to keep your inquiries low, going for the Venture X earlier in your credit card journey, all those type of things. But like sometimes it just almost seems a little bit by chance because like there's been situations where sometimes it makes sense someone get approved, they get rejected. Sometimes it doesn't make sense for someone else and they get approved. Like my wife got rejected when she applied back in January. She's kind of earlier on in her journey. I'm further on, probably have more general inquiries in general, and applied for it this weekend and got approved. So it's kind of weird
Oh,
how that
nice.
works. Is yeah, because you would have expected it would have been probably the opposite, and that's what I think Daniel Braun, opposite scenario. I think he applied for it, didn't get it, and then he had his fiance apply for it, and she got it. So it's like, all right, so what's they haven't really set any like groundwork on like, okay, here's how you get approved, here's why you get denied. We can kind of make inferences, but it's weird.
Rude boy. I don't know. I think rude boy. I threw a star. There's a star button over here on these comments. I don't think it does anything for you, but I did because my guy said he's been here a long time before 1,000. Dude, it took me like a year and a half to get 1,000 people. I don't have 4 friends in real life. So you know how hard it is to make 1,000 on the internet. So my guy, much love, much appreciated. Thank you for sticking around for sure. We've come a long way. Where's the based guy at, RJ? That's a good question. I don't know. Imagine there's a guy who always says the nicest guy. He always says based in the comments.
Yeah, I've seen that.
So yeah, it's like one of those young people things. I had to look it up myself. New again. Any chance for a business cards bracket next year should be interesting. So the great debate is, which is a good debate to have, is that folks like, hey, I want more cards. And for the longest time, like, yeah, but more doesn't like if you look at the college tournament, the 64th team in like has no shot, right? The 32nd team has no shot in, really. But I mean, we did two regions, and the real tournament has 4 regions. So I could see expanding it. I could see expanding the field of play, but not I don't want to explain how long it takes. Like it's already like what 5, 6
Mhm.
weeks, and like because obviously this is it for the year. Like I feel like that's pushing. It's part of the reason why we wanted to do this one live to make it a little bit different, a little bit more fun than all the past ones, right? So for me, and I guess you guys can let me know what you think, and Matt as well. Is like I'd be interested in doing 4 regions, and you could maybe get to 32 cards that way. But I think the first round would have to be like how like the first round of the real tournament is like expedited plays, while like your hardcore coworkers will take the day off to watch like 58 games in a row. So we could get through that quickly and not add another week. I could entertain the idea.
What do you think about Ben's comment? Would you say that the Saver one has risen enough to be a good? I know it's kind of been like a pretty prime debate in general, but would you say the Saver one has kind of risen enough to challenge and be? In what set scenarios would the Saver one be a better option than the Amex Gold for people?
I mean, if the saver would drop the annual fee off the one that gives you like 4x back, then I think it'd be a no
For
brainer.
sure.
I
Yeah.
mean, the $95 annual fee one just doesn't really make any sense. Like 90, it's an extra point for $95. Like that's not it's not doing a whole lot. Um, I think it's a better option for a lot of. I mean, it's a better option for someone like me who like I want to get the maximum back, but I don't really want. I don't. Well, I've been on a million Amex rants, but I don't love paying $250 up front to get doled out my money back over a month like an allowance and be told where I can use these credits at, where I can eat, basically. So anyone who like that, definitely people just starting out who are like, hey, I'm not sure yet if I want to even care this much, well then why get the annual fee version? If you don't know what you're doing with transfer partners like a Luke Wood or any of those big dogs, you're probably gonna be better off with the Saver one. So I think it is a strong option for a lot of people. And like I throw myself in there as well as I did the gold card. Like I really didn't care for it. I do think the gold card's their best MR earning card, but at the same time, I just didn't want to pay $250. I didn't really care for the credits and the coupon games. I think the Saver is a good option. If they got rid of the $95, which is not going to happen, but they got rid of the $95 annual fee one and just made that one the default at 4x back, then I think that's a layup. Plus, that cash
Yeah.
back, it fits into like any setup. I applied, they just denied me for it. Like I was gonna have it, but they said
Mhm.
no. 800 inquiries is too many. And to Luke's point, I kind of laugh. I don't get mad too much at denials. I kind of laugh because you're like, yeah, I kind of knew that was coming. But I did it anyways. So, curmudgeon is late. Who won? The Venture X, unfortunately, won. So there you go. We'll put it back on screen for you. The Venture X won. I say unfortunately because it's the travel card and I was on the cashback side, but the Venture X won. And there you go. There's the quick recap. We should do a quick recap for those joining us just now. We're kind of just going through some Q&A. Anything goes. But yeah, the Venture X is your defending champion, two-time champion. So now we have a dynasty forming
Yeah.
on the Capital One side. There you go. Thank you for making the time to join us. Caesar, my guy, go to for everything Amex related. Every time, every time. Um, Richie, hello to you. Thank you for making the time, buddy. I had to. Oh, see, Luke. The city premiere has done. I've been waiting for the $800 offer to come back. Right, I did apply. They denied me, which was funny because I applied for like a double cash and they gave it to me like $3,000. No, it was a custom cash. They gave me like $3,000. Then denied like a month later for the premiere and the $800 offer. Then a month later, I got the double cash and they gave me like 10 grand. Like I don't know why. So I'm going to reapply again. I want to wait for the $800 to come back. New again agrees with me. He says 3 weeks works for the tournament length. I'll probably make it 4 because I can just not have to think about topics to make for a month. But we're in agreement there. 8 cards in each of the 4 brackets types works. I agree, something like that. We were also talking about expanding the tournament so you could have, cash, travel. We could do business cards. You could do hotel and airlines or something like that. We have options to either spread on the business cards because business cards are either going to fold into that category or not. Once we do enough of these, eventually we're going to have a tournament of champions too. We just don't have enough champions yet to fill out a champions bracket, but that was on the list. Luca, unpopular fact: if you don't spend 18K or more on the gold, you shouldn't never even look at it. I don't know. I mean, I trust your opinion on the 18,000 as well. I mean, I guess if you got a family like you do and you're buying groceries and stuff and food, you probably blow through 18K like pretty quick over the course of a year. I would imagine, sadly.
Yeah,
Though
kind
I
of
see,
to
oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say kind of to that, like, at least for me, I typically will just kind of there's a Chipotle by my gym and there's some other places like that, and I'll just place a Grubhub pickup. And I was kind of doing that even before I got the Amex Gold, as I would kind of just do a pickup order like that, go slide by, pick it up, and it's like 11, $12, use it triggers the $10 credit. And I'll do that on both like the Uber credit and the dining credit. So I guess like I totally get it where like some people overspend just to use the credits, and maybe they're doing it for delivery and it adds all those taxes and fees and all that type of stuff. But what about like the scenario to where like people already were using those services before the gold, get the gold, and then just cancel out all the credits, get to a $10 effective fee? I think at that point it could still be worth it.
Oh, I'm sure. I mean, I like Luke's point. No one gets see at least with Luke said no one gets the 200 value on those BS credits. I mean, I think there's like a specific person though, and like who's already living that like
Mhm.
it's an Ask Sebi man who's like, hey, I'm in San Francisco, and he's like super open about. He's like, I love eating Shake Shack, and I love taking Ubers because he doesn't have a car. This is the Motor City, man. The question is not are we driving; it's which car are we driving. Like that is the question. And like Shake Shack, like I think Shake Shack is good. I call it the Shake Shack credit because there used to be when I worked in Detroit, there was a Shake Shack in the lobby of the building I was in. So like that's where I would go to use it. But like it's good, but I feel like it's an overpriced McDonald's, which is becoming overpriced in itself. So I guess I end up hating the effective annual fee argument. I think
Mhm.
there's a select few people who can still use those credits and still get the full value. I think it's very select. I also think there's a fine, especially if you're talking about the platinum, to just say, hey, you know what? This makes my life better when I travel, and this is what I want to use. I think that's fine, but maybe just not with like the over justification of like, well, you see, if I use this and I do Uber Eats, I'm like, yeah, I've heard it, I've done it, I've lived it, and it's a stretch. Marlon, it's okay. You got to go back to work. Got to pay the bills, man. I appreciate you coming, anyways. Frank, RJ, I told you have two play and honorable mention cards for both the travel and cashback regions. See, we did have honorable. We had wild cards last year, but then I split it out because we went 8 and 8 this time, and the wild cards never really make it super far. I didn't think the wild card was a bad idea, but we might bring it back. We might bring in one wild card, maybe. Because that's at least that if we have a wild card, then that covers the cards that I forget, which is as we've covered in the beginning,
Mhm.
usually a good three cards that I forget. John says my gold annual fee hits next week. I have used both credits every month and easily. He'll gladly keep my gold. Hey, look, bud, I'm glad it's working for you. I'm not mad at anyone. Still play the I'm gonna break up with you game to try to get your retention offer, but I'm not mad at you by any means. Um, John said Caesar something. I have no idea. I failed Spanish, but I assume it was something nice. Curmudgeon, my gold annual fee hits next month. Maybe be time to say goodbye to it. So there you go. Um, I mean, play the retention game and see what happens. But I don't know. I mean, I think it's just like how are you going to use the points? I've made my opinion clear on hold 100 times. I used to love it. I used to really really want the Amex stuff, but not the case. Which Caesar, will Chase ever win a tournament? I know they have weak cards. They do. See, the thing about Chase is I'll agree with you. I think Chase cards are overrated. I can say that. But the thing about Chase is that they just don't care what you do. And that kind of elevates them above a lot of other places, right? I'm about to downgrade my Sapphire Preferred to like a fifth Freedom Flex card. They don't care. I can go buy a bunch of gift cards. I did this to buy new appliances. I went to a gift grocery store and bought like $6,000 in Best Buy gift cards. They don't care. And I think that helps elevate their cards that are on their own not amazing. I the Freedom Flex and the Freedom Unlimited are fairly good on their own because of what they give you, but they're not like crazy like we talk about. I think it's their just devil may care approach to life that helps elevate them is where you could never do that with American Express, which I know you love, but I think that's the thing with Chase. So will they win a tournament though? They would have to answer. They would have to answer Wells Fargo's autograph Journey card very strongly, right? We really need a Sapphire Reserve refresh. Probably the Sapphire Preferred as well. The problem with the Reserve is it's so close to the Freedoms, which are free, and the Sapphire Preferred, which is significantly cheaper, that like you can't do anything with the cards underneath it because they're already so close to overtaking the Reserve anyway. So they kind of would have to retool the whole lineup a little bit. In my opinion, but you're a travel card guy. You got the Venture X. What are your thoughts on what Chase would do to win?
I mean, as it is right now, I don't think that there's a huge possibility of that happening. Obviously, the Sapphire Preferred is what got to the conference championship against the Venture X, but I think there are a lot of fanboys of Chase, but there's also a lot of people who just will not are just not happy with the fact that cards haven't been refreshed. But there has been a surge and people getting the Sapphire Reserve, and obviously it can make sense for some people. Um, I agree with you in the sense that obviously Wells Fargo has made their play, and it's almost like a call to Chase to be like, hey, are you gonna challenge this new card that we just brought out? So if they decide to refresh the Sapphire Preferred, maybe the Sapphire Reserve, then that could be an argument. But as it sits right now, if they do nothing, um, then I think we'll be back here next year, and Chase will not be a champion. But that's at least my opinion.
That's fair. That's fair. I mean, I don't know if they. It's the thing about also being the biggest bank. Like I don't. I think sometimes we forget like our little corner of the internet, right? It's just us. Like and like Chase doesn't really interested in me getting another freedom card. They could care less,
Mhm.
right? They're really like, and I look over the landscape. They're like, hey, I'm good. Like I talked to my younger brother. He's like looking for some banking products, and he's like, what's the best? I was like, well, really, you want? I can't remember what I told him. He's like, yeah, but what about Chase? I was like, well, I wouldn't for what he was trying to do, which I think is he wanted some kind of like investment account. I was like, I mean, I wouldn't bother with Chase. I'd go with Schwab or Fidelity or Vanguard. He's like, yeah, but what about Chase? Then just tell me
Yeah.
you want the Chase card, the Chase account, man. And like that's so I don't really need to refresh too much, unfortunately.
No, the funny thing
Uh,
too is like people who like aren't really into the credit card game like we are, every time I hear someone say like they want to get a good card, the first thing that they think of is like the Sapphire Preferred. And like that's just for someone who isn't really into the whole credit card game, but their automatic first thought is that. So I think there's definitely just kind of like a general popularity with like, oh, this card's cool, but obviously not really diving deep into the weeds on what it actually is. Um, but yeah, no, I think there definitely needs to be my biggest problem with the Sapphire Reserve is for number one, like you can make all your arguments about the platinum and how certain things don't really make sense. There's a bunch of credits that probably a lot of people aren't going to be able to use, but also some credits people do use. With a Sapphire Reserve, even if you do utilize the credit, which is a good credit by itself, you still have a long way to go before even getting close to the annual fee, especially when you consider that if your whole goal is using Chase's travel ecosystem, you can accomplish the same thing with the Sapphire Preferred. So that's just how I look at it.
yeah, ecosystem. So Apple's what they're being sued for right now, isn't it? Juan, hello to you. Thank you for joining. Let's see, Oakland. Thanks. Oh, thank you for participating in the tournament, man. We appreciate it. See, John, gold isn't for everyone. I agree. See, I think that's a good point, though. I think because to John's point, it's not for everyone. But sometimes we forget again, like that is also why intro offers exist in their purest form. Is one to draw you in, but number two is like you can try something in your number one and be like, okay, you know what, this actually wasn't for me. 'Cause I tell people like I used to like really want the platinum card because like the platinum card was like the game over. It's kind of
Mhm.
like Up in the Air, the George Clooney movie where he like walks or he flies around everywhere like firing dudes all the time, right? But like when he's in the airport, like I mean, airports are never like this. But he just walks right up to the front desk. He's in the Admirals Club. There's no one in the Admirals Club except some like attractive whoever the code his the co-star was. That's not really flying, but like the platinum card is kind of what it's kind of like selling, right? And like so. I
Mhm.
definitely did want it, but if you could, get it, use it for a year, earn your intro offer. Because we just had someone here kind of hit 175K. Yeah,
Mm.
Juan, congratulations on that. So there you go.
Nice.
Oh, yeah, perfect. I see. Rude boys are someone who firmly believes in not overspending. Your spending increases along with your progression in income. It definitely does, man. It definitely does. Because I used to do some silly things back in the day, like Dollar Shave Club razors, man. I used to use like the same one for like a month straight. Didn't even care. Like everyday shave. Like I'm just not buying more. I'm down to like switching them out every other week now. So that's what moving from 0 subscribers to like whatever we're at now does. I can now switch them out every other. I remember doing that with contact lenses too. I was like, I had the monthly ones, but I would wear them until like one of your eyes turned red. I was like, all right, now I got to switch them because it's like I didn't want to spend the money, man. Didn't it? But now when you start to earn a little bit more, you're like, you know what? I'm too rich for this, which is a very obnoxious thing to say. It's why I said it like that, but I'm agreeing with your sentiment. Um, People should not. I don't condone wearing your contacts more than the box says. Trust me, but I agree. So Matt, what trips you got on the horizon? This is from Phil.
Oh, well, this June I'm going to Hawaii with my family. I'm thinking for somewhere for those of you who don't know about kind of like what my travel preferences are. I'm right now I'm not fluent in Spanish, but my wife is Mexican, so I'm working on that and working on getting a little bit better in that area. So I'll probably hit up somewhere in Central America in December. I know we've been talking about potentially El Salvador as an option. Guatemala is another option. Went to South America a couple months ago and loved it. But yeah, probably somewhere in like general Latin America towards the end of the year, then Hawaii in June.
Nice.
Potentially New
Um,
Orleans. I know we were talking about it a little bit, RJ, before this call, but hopefully New Orleans. Haven't booked anything yet, but would love to go to the creator meetup for everyone who is unfamiliar with that as well.
Oh yeah, we should plug that. No, it was fun. It was from Vegas. It was Luke's creation, and he got us all together. It was a good time. I think the people who came were fun. He even got the king himself, Ask Sebi and Manny, to show up, which was unexpected, but awesome. So the thing about it is, like, I never like committing to things, which is a running joke. But I never have to commit to things because it's
Mhm.
just me. But I forget that other people have families and friends and lives, and they can't just like book things like last minute. Um, so I should start plugging that earlier so people know. But yes, I will scrape together my cash back cards and find a way to get down there. You know, if people will allow me to sit there. Last time, everyone, all the big shots, they stayed at what, the Conrad or something crazy, the Waldorf. I don't know, someplace crazy. I was in this rundown MGM place. Uh, but that's where the event was at. It was not awesome, but it was about what I was going to pay for, which is accurate. So maybe I'll stay in the Big Kid Hotel. Maybe, probably not, but maybe.
Yeah, no, I think they got a Roosevelt. I know they have a Waldorf in New Orleans. And there's a couple. I know a lot of people are staying at some Hyatt properties down there too. But yeah, I'll definitely scrape together my cashback cards if I have any, when my travel points, and I'll plan to be there as well. Because to reiterate, RJ, it was a great time the first time down in Vegas. People came out and it was awesome to meet up with everyone and obviously put a name to the face for a lot of people and overall a great time. So
Curmudgeon, that's probably my fault. He says with the ads, I didn't do it on purpose, but what I did was, so the backstory, you take this thing that we're on. I'm not actually looking at YouTube right now. So for those of you who don't know, this is my first live stream. I'm looking at a website called StreamYard, and you just plug it into your YouTube studio, and then it just kind of like broadcasts that way. Um, so I probably didn't go in there and adjust the settings so you didn't have ads to cut off the soothing tones of my voice. So that's my bad. It's not a total money grab. It's not a terrible mistake on my part, for being honest. Damn, we just talked about the Conrad, man. I don't know what to tell you. I'm just kidding. It's probably my fault though. Um, Jeremy's a longtime fan. Lions logo on his name. Jeremy's the guy who sends in all the news stories for the week. He's just like, here's a dump of stories. Pick the ones you want, or a few that he likes. So he has been here from the beginning as well. He probably remembers the bedroom backdrop as well. So fantastic that you could make it, sir. He's another West Coast guy, so he might be skipping out of work early too, to see that. So
just like
we
me.
appreciate you. Yeah, we appreciate that. We really do, man. It means a lot. Red Sox, which player will have a better bounce back year? Slim Daddy Vladdy Guerrero or Edwin? Vladimir Guerrero still playing?
It's his son, Vladimir Guerrero
Oh,
Jr., but
well, it tells you what I know. Okay. This is a question
but
for you then.
yeah, no, I'll take it. I'm a baseball fan. So now I love Edwin Diaz. I'm a Mariners fan. So obviously he was a Mariner in the past, but I think I play fantasy baseball too, and I have Vladimir Guerrero on my team. So I'll be rooting hard for him for that. But also in general, I think he's going to have the best bounce back year for anyone who cares or is curious. But
Well, thank you for that because I just like I don't know. I like when I used to work at Rocket Mortgage, like opening day was a big thing. That's probably the last time I went to a baseball game for like a team outing. I don't hate them. I just like I don't really watch too many sports come on too late for me now. Like after this, I'm probably like it's time for bed. I'm
yeah,
skipping over all these comments that say the platinum card is legit. I mean, do you really want me to do a platinum card rant again? We should have a poll. Like if you want me to, I will. Badger. The altitude reserve often gets overlooked. Any reason why? I love mine. I think it gets overlooked because US Bank is really weird. They're a top 5 bank. They're really the 5th largest bank. Their cards are good. Cash Plus is good. Altitude Go is really right up there with the Saver, in my opinion. Even the Connect isn't bad, especially with the changes they're making. Reserve isn't bad either, but I think they just, for whatever reason, they make it hard to get their cards, which doesn't help. They just denied me for I think the Shoppers Cash rewards 2 or 3 days ago. But everyone just really wants to combine altitude points, man. Just move them over there to the reserve. And I think they added it that you can combine altitude points on some cards, but you can't move them to the reserve, which seems like a bit much. So if I was US Bank, and they've already known that, I'm sure they sat around the boardroom and talked about this, but like make the cash plus and the altitude earn altitude points. Well, the altitude does earn altitude points, but make them all earn altitude points interchangeable, whether they cash out or move to the reserve, and you're probably there. Because as we talked about earlier, they do have that mobile wallet category that like no one else seems to want to adopt. I think the Kroger card. I know there's a guy like my channel members thing who's like loves the Kroger card, not because he loves Kroger, but because he loves like the mobile wallets. But I also think that card's issued by US Bank, so that would make sense, I think. So that's my thoughts on US Bank. Like they have the ability, but they've just decided to like, yeah, we're not even gonna be that good. Even how they're set up, like they are a national bank, like the full banking charter, but like to get a deposit account from them from like our bank promotions, you have to be an existing customer. And the only way to do that is to get a credit card. I think they closed the brokerage account loop, but that's really weird for like the 5th largest bank in the country. But like, now we're not gonna, you have to have a US bank branch in your state to get a deposit account, but we're so big. Like that's a weird thing. So they just do like weird things. Like I don't know. So yes, they should be more loved. It's partly their fault. And then partly ours because we do forget to talk about. I mean, the Cash Plus I think is plenty of love, but like the rest of the cards, I do think we kind of leave out sometimes. So yeah, I think US Bank
yeah.
is weird. Oh, Richie's still doing razors month to month, sometimes longer. So I'm not alone in having just a Wolverine scratched up face. Oh, yep, Sean, yep, agree. Approval rate and their lack of if they had referrals would be good. Not even affiliate links for us, but like half of what I think, well, not half, but like a big part of what drives this card's popularity is people just referring one another, right? At least Amex and Chase do, but Citi's still somewhat popular. They don't have any referrals or links either.
Mhm.
I don't know. Gentlemen, good afternoon. Best US Bank business credit card for my first business card. Probably the triple cash. I mean, are you looking for like? I mean, if you're just looking for like hit a quick bonus, I'd probably go for the triple cash. I mean, it does have a lot of 3x categories, hence the name triple cash. Plus, it makes you eligible for U.S. bank deposit account bonuses, which are great, and no annual fee. But the one thing U.S. Bank does, again, that other people don't do is for most of their cards, they waive the annual fee in the first year. So you could even go for the leverage card if you could hit the spend. But another thing they do well is they also give you like 5 months to hit the spend on most of the cards. But I go triple cash. to start. Business Connect's not bad, but I think Triple Cash, you get a lot of mileage out of that. That was my first U.S. Bank business card, if it helps. What else we got? Might have switch to safety razors. Probably should. I'm not manly enough to do that though. Phil, got to get to New Orleans. Yes, you do, sir. Roosevelt is the Waldorf. Oh, the
Oh, I might have
hotels.
said that wrong. Yeah.
Gotcha. I don't know. Dude, I'm in a Mel's Econo Lodge. Where's the card program for that, dude? All right, Caesar's already booked. That dude's on top of it. That's a guy with a family. He's already booked and ready to go. I
Speaking of
can't
Caesar,
commit.
I think he's trying to plug the 2025 meetup in Puerto Rico, which would be actually be I would be all in for. That'd be super fun. So
I
yeah,
do have a passport, believe it or not. I have a passport and global entry. I just don't have never used them. One time at work, I thought we were going to visit a client's processing site that was like overseas, and I was like, all right, it's gonna be sick. And I got a passport, and then like we never went, and so I never used it. That's why I have one. All right, who else we got? Anthony Venture, the band with the best hair on the internet. Check in. He's the guy. I went live on his show first. I didn't even know people were doing that. I knew Luke was doing it, but I didn't know how easy it was. That sounds mean. I didn't mean it like he's so easy that Venture can do it, but he just said we just did it on our phones. And I was like, oh, literally? That's all you have to do? He's like, yep. And
uh,
he did it inside of his Tesla. He's probably in the Tesla Cybertruck now. Rude boy, StreamYard tax write off. I just didn't finish my taxes the other day. Yes, a lot of write offs. Just keep the receipts, man. I'm trying to. All right, let's see what else we got here. Anything else? Any burning questions anyone wants to know while we have a guest here?
looks like a lot of people are in for Puerto Rico 2025.
A lot of razor comments too. I think I hit a nerve with a lot of dudes. Defender razors on a monthly basis. 2020 got a lot of 2025s. RJ doesn't know that Puerto Rico is America, is it? I
Yeah,
guess it is.
technically.
But it's not attached to America. It's like out in the water, isn't it? Like the ocean or whatever.
Yeah, it's technically U.S. territory though, so you won't need your passport,
Oh,
unfortunately.
we got my hopes up for nothing. Um, I'm not really. I don't go anywhere, man. Venture. My hair is not easy. It's not easy. Cybertruck mobile office coming soon. I didn't think it was easy. That's why I cut off all my dude. I get a one on top ball fade. Like I'm not doing this. Oh, see, New again agrees with me. He's like most Americans don't. I don't pretend to be cultured. Look, man. The things I know really well. But if I'm not interested in it, it might as well be dead to me, man. Like I'm like I got no idea. It would surprise you. It's like you want to read some terms and conditions. I could probably tell you the terms and conditions from a bank right now. I can tell you U.S. Bank is like a 24-month churn. And how to become a customer? Can I tell you how to get to Puerto Rico? Who owns it? No chance. No chance. Oh, now we got a debate going about this. Put the passport back in. All right, see, Richie got a passport stamp. He's at Grand Hyatt. Oh yeah, he asked me. He was shopping for Rolexes or something in Grand Hyatt. He does it big. He made it out there. I remember that. Yeah, we have some world travelers, but this was the fun because we kind of combined it, between cashback and travel.
Anthony said if you
Oh, he
click
says
on the
if I
yeah,
click on the comments, I can bring them to the front of the screen so people can actually see what everyone's saying. I think I messed this up. We'll do it for the next one. I have StreamYard. We'll end on this maybe. I paid for the month. I don't. I think I just did a month. But anyways, the bottom line is like if people are having fun doing this, I've seen other folks do it. I mean, we can definitely do this some more now that I know how to get it set up. I can probably play with it a little bit more. We have the option now. We've paid for it. As someone said, it's a tax write-off. I think. Jeremy's in.
Jeremy wants you to do more. Yeah.
Rod is back. If I want the ink cash, but I just received a personal gold card and I'm at 524 with it, do I have a chance at the ink cash? Okay, okay. So if you were, let's say you were 424, you applied for the gold, now you're at 524. But if you just got it, like it's still fresh, then it would come down to like has Amex reported it to your to the credit bureaus yet? So you could go in there. It takes like a month. The quickest I've seen is Bank of America. Bank of America reported cards very fast, but everyone else usually is like a 30-day lag or something. So Rod, I would say you should give it a shot. Well, you could just check one of your credit profiles too and see if you have a new trade account reported. But I think if you just got it, you might be able to play that sweet spot and get in there and grab it. You know, profitablecontent.com has all your ink cash needs, by the way. Can I sponsor my own live stream? Luke said we did good. Well, I mean, he's a veteran of this, so I appreciate that. Took
Yeah, I appreciate
forever.
it.
Oh, see, Ben took forever for Amex to show up on my credit report, almost 2 cycles. Well, then, yeah, Rod, you should be you should be able to sneak in and get that no problem. So let us know. Tomorrow, Wednesday, I'll be doing a video on Run on the Bank about the Ink Cash's new offer, the one that has like the 750 plus the business account tie-in. So we'll cover that one as well. I know there was a unlimited link or an Ink Cash unlimited link that Doc had posted, but I'm pretty sure that one was targeted, and so that's kind of a dice roll if you want to go for those or not. I'm not saying I've never done it, but I don't know if it's one of those like do as I don't do as I say, do as I say, not as I do, that one. So Jeremy, who's profitable content. So there we go. So we got some good votes. We could definitely look to incorporate some more lives in here. So one more gone for the chat. With any other questions? Again, well, we have a guest. I think I ended up 120K link is dead. Yep, there's all that coming. Yeah, Sean, it was a link. Like on occasion, all these places they have targeted links, right, for specific people, and someone grabs the link and sends it in, and then it gets posted, and a bunch of people try to go through it. But usually it gets shut down pretty quick. So that one's dead now. You didn't miss anything. I wouldn't feel bad. Lenny, how do you manufacture ACH payment when you're trying to meet bank bonuses? Well, I mean, I have a real job now, believe it or not. So I just use the real thing because all the places I've ever worked use, Workday or UltiPro that you can send it everywhere. But when I didn't, I mean, I kind of got tired of playing the guessing game, and I would use Wise, which is like I've got a whole video on it on the second channel, but it's like I think they were really meant to send currencies across like countries, not to Puerto Rico, because you could just send them USD, as we've learned together here. But they'll also do like USD to USD, and you can just send money to yourself. And Wise tends to trigger the most. And there's like a free text field where I tend to write in payroll in there as well. And I set mine up under my actual LLC, so it just shows up like profitable content LLC -payroll. If you go through you actually do an LLC, they will ask you for documentation, but I don't think that actually matters. I think it's more so how they send the money and how the bank's receiving it. But I was using Wise because there's a fee percentage, but it just takes the guesswork out of it. But if we've known it worked, then I'd use business checking accounts as well, things like that. Every time my payroll manager will hate me. Oh yeah, they probably will hate you because you've got an old school job where you have to go down and show them like, hey, update. But yeah, they probably will hate you. Plus, they'll ask you a lot of questions. Probably is the thing. So you might be better off using Wise or just going to the data points a little bit. I mean, especially on all these historical bonuses, we know how they work, right? So like again, Doc is good for this. People generally post, hey, here's what worked, and then you can kind of get a feel. I mean, sometimes you don't have to use Wise. Sometimes just literally an ACH transfer will work. It really just depends on the bank. So I would do that. Oh, Novo, to Richie's point, Novo is a good call. I think they have a $40 promo offer right now. Novo's good. Amex Business Checking is surprisingly good. Chase sometimes. Chase Business is good too, but people don't like to keep Chase Business open because there's a fee if you don't keep a certain amount in it, and it's still something you want to churn. So yeah, there are definitely some free options. Who wins? JP Knowledge. Who wins in a one-on-one? Dude, I haven't touched a basketball. He says who wins in a basketball game too. I haven't touched a basketball in like years. Plus, I think you have the height. My only chance is I'm pretty sure I'm stronger than you, so I can just knock you around. But like, can I actually get the ball in the hoop? Is probably where this thing falls short for that, which is the
Funny
main
enough, I
point.
actually have a new basketball league that's starting up tomorrow, so I'll be
All right.
getting
Well, I
back in
think
the
we've
groove of
answered
it.
that. I think we've answered that. I can
You probably
run
do got me
though.
being in strength, but I do play a fair amount, so hopefully I can hold my own there.
I can run if that's anything. New again. Will U.S. Bank count tax payment to fulfill a? Yeah, they should. It's spend. I think there was like one instance of like Amex not counting it, but then it got rectified, and I think I've seen some CFPB complaints too where they actually ended up paying out. Plus, Amex posted like I think they had a blog at one point like, "Hey, pay your tax with the card." So I don't see why not. I mean, I have the Altitude Power card from US Bank right now, which is just an awful card, but I paid my taxes with that card towards the intro offer. So that's what I'm doing. So I don't see why it wouldn't work. I hope it works. That's what I'm doing. Oh no, I mean I don't think you should get a shutdown. I mean I did it. I mean it was just I paid the federal, which is like $1,000, and it went through no problem. Now US Bank will block credit card funding instantly. They don't even decline; they just block it. I've never been able to fund a bank account with a U.S. Bank credit card for whatever reason. They're on top of it. But paying your taxes, I did it. I paid them yesterday. I mean, so it went through. The government got the money. It still hasn't fully posted to the account yet, but I did that with my U.S. Bank card. I
Luke said Matt
think
is
we're
no. Oh, sorry. I was going to
U.S.
say
Bank
Matt said,
hates.
or Luke said Matt is no Spencer Johnson. That's for sure, which is true. Spencer is reportedly 6'8" and is a stellar basketball player. So I
He
actually
is
was,
tall.
yeah. When we were down in Vegas, I was hoping to get a little one-on-one matchup going, but I guess we'll have to save it for New Orleans. Obviously, he's probably going to win, but he's got to prove it. So I guess I'll challenge him right there. That's my official challenge.
He is tall. Yeah. Yeah, we got challenges. We can live stream that. I mean, I think we just someone walks around with a GoPro just streaming the whole thing. All right, Luke's in. Spencer is 7-6. All right, so I think that's good. I think we hit everyone. I mean, again, we tried to read all of them. If I missed you, I'm definitely sorry. We'll do it again. Maybe we'll start bringing guests on, so it's just not me rambling at you for an hour. But one more time, we'll give it up for our new champion, the Venture X. We'll throw it back on screen. Travel wins again. We have a new dynasty forming. So we will definitely be back here in a year's time to do it again with hopefully an all new look tournament. We'll definitely incorporate some new stuff, but I think we got a winning format. So, of course, thank you to Mr. Welch for being my co-host and coming up with the overall concept, and for all 58 of you who came out to the live. I mean, that's insane. I didn't think 58 people. It seems like a lot of people. Whether you had to drop off or not, go back to work. We really appreciate you coming out for sure, showing some love, guys. So, thank you very much one more time for the champion. Matt, any last words? Where can the people find you at other than the basketball court?
Yeah, no, thanks so much everyone for participating. It was a lot of fun getting going on this bracket challenge. I'm excited to take a look at everyone's suggestions and see what it looks like next year. Obviously, thanks so much, RJ, for letting me in on it this year. And yeah, excited to see what's to come. And again, thank you all so much for participating. In terms of where people can find me, I do have a YouTube channel as well. So if you just search my name, you can find me that way. But yeah, I appreciate everyone for participating, and it was a great time.
All right, there you have it. Thanks again, Internet. We'll see you back for our regular schedule. We'll be back on Thursday and Sundays, of course. But until then, do I have to do the whole thank you so much for watching? Press the thumbs up button. I think there's a thumbs up button. You guys know what to do. Anyways, thanks, guys. We'll see you very soon in the next one.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye.